Hi guys, today we'll do the business analysis for JTEKT India Limited. Okay, so it basically belongs to the sector of auto ancillaries, and industry is also auto ancillaries. It has a yearly revenue of around 2,158 crores. So we'll try to analyze what the company does. It is basically into the business of manufacturing the steering systems and other automotive components, and it has clients like the leader Maruti Suzuki, Toyota, Tata Motors, Mahindra, GM. So as we can see, JTKT seems to be the supplier for most of the major automotive OEMs, and it has around 55% of business share with Maruti Suzuki and of 100% with Toyota. This is for mainly the steering system and the steering system part. Okay, now we'll try to analyze. So now we understand what the company does. Now we try to analyze the debt, the earnings, and the profitability of the company. So in terms of debt, so it has a comfortable debt to equity ratio of zero point 0.1, and it is well covered, and a good current ratio of 1.5. So from debt perspective, we see the company is almost debt free and there's no concern here. So most of the profits will be not be used for the paying the interest income, but it can be used for the future growth or return to the shareholders in terms of say dividends, okay, and buybacks, etc. And coming to the earnings part, so earnings we see in for the last 5 years, the earning growth is around 7%, which is kind of moderate, not too good or not too bad. And similarly, EPS growth or the net profit growth is also around 7%, and it has a consistency of around 60%. Like in the last 5 years, year on, if we consider year on year basis, so 3 out of 5 times the earnings have increased over the previous year. And if we see in terms of last trailing 12 months, so revenue has grown by 8%, but the net profit has grown by 32%. So the company, hereby we can judge that the company has improved its margins. So based even on the revenue growth of 8%, now it has improved its profits by 32%. And in the last quarter, it profit has grown by 65%. This comparing the this quarter with the previous year's quarter. So overall, we can conclude that long-term growth is pretty average. 7 to 8% is kind of average growth, but short-term growth is pretty good. It is around 32% in the last 1 year. Now coming to the profitability part, it has a works on operating margin of 9% and net margin of 4%. So margin here are like operating margin is still pretty average, but net margin is pretty low. I think for most of these automotive companies, automotive ancillaries, the operating margin is around 8 to 9%, and the net margin is 5 to 6%. But in JTKT case, it is only 4%, and it is paying out 15% of its earnings to the shareholders as dividends. And return on invested capital is again around 11%, which is kind of average. It has good operating cash flow, so it is able to have good cash flows, 95 crore. It also has some free cash flow. So overall, if we see debt, the company is pretty much good. Earnings, long term it is good, but short term the long term is average, but short term is pretty good, and profitability is kind of average. So we can see the net profit chart. Like in 2020, the company was earning 28 crore. In 2021, it dropped to 12 crore, but since then it has been improving to 33 cr, 80 cr, and now in the last trailing 12 months up to December 23, it has earned 93 crores. So overall, we can conclude that one can ride the wave. There's a good growth momentum in the short term. For long term, we will see the fundamentals are kind of average. So one can take a call accordingly. But for the short term, the growth is